Hey everybody, I am out and about, and I'm in my neighborhood actually, and I'm up with my head in the olive trees again. I'm over at our neighbor Marty's house, and I'm going to pick a bunch of olives. These are some beautiful olives here. I don't know if you can see. I have some really ripe ones, and some that are starting to get ripe, and then some green ones as well. So that's perfect. I like that mixture. So it's that time of year again. It's in mid-October right now. Actually a little bit early because in the past I've picked these in November, but right now they are just ripening and falling off the tree right here in the middle of October. So this is perfect. So anyway, I'm gonna spend some time picking a bunch of olives. So I don't know what I'm gonna make with them yet. I'm gonna get them leaching in water just to get started, and then we'll decide later how we want to brine them. So anyway, let's pick some olives.
Gas up the Jeep, it's good to be free. Load up the pans and fishing poles. The highway is long, the wheels turning round. Pack up the cook stove and the bowls. Arlo and I, we hit the open road. Arlo and I are on the road.
Now, I'm not sure what type of olives these are. These are a larger olive off of these trees here, off of Marty's trees. The olives that I have in my yard are definitely like a Kalamata style. They're more, have that sort of pointed end, and they're like half this size. And these are like a large olive. I'm not sure what variety these are, but these come out really nice. When I made some a couple years ago, they came out super nice. So, as well as the olives that I have in my yard come out really nice too. All right. Well, I've got like about a 2-gallon bucket here filled with these beautiful olives. I'm going to reel myself in and only do this one 2-gallon bucket. I kind of have a tendency to take these projects to the max, and then I have like olives all over the place, and I have jars all over my refrigerator and all that. So I think I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to just kind of limit myself to this 2 gallons and see how many olives I get out of this. This is plenty. Last time I made them, I had so many. I had jars of olives in my refrigerator, my daughter's refrigerator. I had them all over the place. So I'm going to reel myself in a little bit and make this project a little bit smaller. So anyway, we will see you later, maybe tomorrow, on the next step. All right. All right, I am back out here in the backyard with this big bowl of beautiful olives that we picked yesterday. Today I'm going to kind of tackle the project of putting little slits, just like this. I'm going to put slits all the way around in these olives, and that's going to allow the water to wash through the olives and help remove some of the tannins. But when we get to that stage in the process, if you remember last year, if you watched my video from or maybe 2 years ago, I did a similar thing, except that I took the olives and I crushed them with a hammer, and that worked out really well. We got the tannins out of the olives, but it does give more of a crushed olive texture. So this time I think I want to try to retain the shape of the olive, so I'm going to put slits in it instead of crushing them. But now the tedious part of putting slits in all of these olives here. I really love all of these colors. It's so pretty. If you notice, I have all of my olives. I poured them into this big kind of clay cazuela, Spanish cazuela, which is used to make, like paella. I actually worked in a Spanish restaurant for many years when I was a young chef, and I probably made thousands and thousands of paellas in cazuelas just like this. I think one of these days I'm going to go out and I'm going to go out in the woods and make a paella for you. But in the meantime, it's a beautiful looking container for our olives. Arlo decided to join me over here. Hey, bud. Do some olives. I know, nothing good to eat, but yeah, kind of cool, huh, bud? All right, the last one. There we go. All right, we did it. Another bucket. Only a very few in here of olives that I didn't think that I could use, that had some bugs in them or that had too many blemishes. So we did pretty well. We didn't lose very many at all. One thing I didn't mention is that if you do this, this will stain your fingers pretty good. And your clothes possibly, so just keep that in mind if you're doing this. So now the next step is we're going to put these in cold water. What I'm going to do is every day I'm going to change out this water, put fresh clean water in, and dump out the older water, and we're going to do that for every day for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to try them. After a couple of days I'm going to taste them, and I'm going to try them every day until I get to that level of bitterness that I really like. And it looks like last time I did it, it was about 2 weeks, so that's what we're going to shoot for. So anyway, we'll see you in about 2 weeks. All right, we are back in the kitchen, finally. It's been 2.5 weeks since we started this project. If you remember, we picked the olives from the trees, we brought them home, we washed them up really good, and then we put a slit in the olives so that the water can penetrate the olive, and then we've been soaking them in cold water, and every day I've come in and I've poured out the water and I put fresh water in here, and then in essence what we're doing is we're leaching out all of those bitter tannins that are in the olives when you pick them right off the tree. I've made a brine. This is a brine of salt, water, and red wine vinegar. And then for flavorings, what I've decided today is I'm going to go for something with a bold flavor. I'm going to be using Carolina Reaper pepper, so these are going to be super spicy. I have some blood orange, and I have some rosemary, which I just picked out of the yard. Now this is the fun part of the project, because this is where you can add your personality to your recipe. Any flavors that you like. I'm going with some bold flavors here with the Carolina Reapers and the rosemary, but you can go as mellow or as flavorful as you like. Garlic is a great thing to put in here. Any number of herbs. Lemon is always great. That's traditional. But like I said, today I'm going to be using the Carolina Reapers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of layering some of these ingredients in here, and then we're going to put the olives in. So I think I'm going to put some of the Carolina Reapers in the bottom of each of these jars. Let's see. Ooh, I can smell them. They are so spicy smelling. I'm going to put a couple in each. I'm just going to use all these up because these are going to be like super spicy. Okay, so the peppers are in there. Now always remember, if you're using spicy peppers like that, you wear rubber gloves, because those will get you later when you go rub your eye or something worse. Okay, so now I'm going to put a slice of this beautiful blood orange in the bottom of each of these jars. Let's see. Okay, and then some rosemary. This rosemary I just picked in the yard, and you can see it still has some beautiful blossoms on there, so I'm going to stick at least one sprig in here to start, and then we'll add some more as we go. I love how that looks with the flowers on it. So. Okay, and now I'm going to add olives. I'll add another orange slice, and then probably stick, if I can, stick in another sprig of rosemary into there. And we'll just do that with all of these jars. Alright, I said, look how beautiful those olives are ready. I haven't even put the brine in there yet, which I'm going to do next. So, as I mentioned, this is a brine that I made. This is just sea salt, red wine vinegar, and water. It's about, I don't know, let's see, 6 cups of water, about 3/4 of a cup of salt, and a couple of cups of red wine vinegar, which brings me to about 2 quarts. I like to do it in a pitcher, so it's easy for me to pour into the jars. Okay, there we go. I ended up making 6 jars right here. I still have more olives in the bucket. I can probably make a couple, 2 or 3 more jars. I haven't decided what flavors I'm going to use for those. But our original 4, which we made, you saw me make, I did Carolina Reaper, blood orange, and rosemary with a brine of salt, water, and red wine vinegar. We're going to let these sit for a couple of weeks to a couple of months. They're going to progressively become more complex in flavor, after they sit. But we're going to start tasting them probably in a couple of weeks. So the other 2 jars that I made lemon, garlic, and rosemary for those friends and family who don't like the spicy stuff. But I did have some extra garlic, so I actually threw some garlic in with my original ones as well. So these now are Carolina Reaper, peppers, blood orange, rosemary, and garlic. And then the non-spicy ones, lemon, garlic, and rosemary. All right, I can't wait to try these in a couple of weeks. This isn't a project that you get instant gratification. It takes time. It takes a couple of weeks. We have to pick the olives, then it takes a couple of weeks to soak them to get rid of all of those tannins, and then you need to put them in your brine and flavorings, and then it takes a couple of weeks to a couple of months for them to sit in the brine. I'm going to be putting these in the refrigerator, so just to be careful, I'm going to put them in the refrigerator and let them sit in there But in a couple of weeks, we'll come try them and we'll see how they are. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed following along on this little olive adventure. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe. That always helps us a lot. And we will see you in the next one.
Load up the pans and fishing poles. Arlo and I.
Oh, and thanks again to Marty in our neighborhood who let me pick the olives off of the trees. Soon I'll be picking olives off of the trees in my yard, and they'll be ready to go. But these large olives I picked from her, so thank you again, Marty. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.